Beehive Sports Podcast is powered by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com. Use promo code Beehive20 for 20% off your golf and MLB PA apparel. We're back after a little bit of a weird time. We'll get into that once we read through everything, get the intro video going. Tonight's show, we're going to start off with a big announcement. The Beehive Sports Podcast's 5 days of Christmas. So we'll get into the details of that right out the gate. Get into local shout-outs, which are about a week behind, but hey, blame Sketty. Then we'll do Buzz and Buzz Kill, Reality Overreaction, NFL Week 14. I guess I should mention, Andy's with me here, filling in for Sketty. He's become our part-timer here on the show. So filled in for me when I was in Myrtle Beach, filling in for Sketty when he needed some time. So yeah, NFL Week 14, Reality Overreaction. Then briefly, we'll talk about college football playoff and the bowl season. No sports history or Sketty on tonight. And the things that sting will follow up with the former Bills punter Matt Ariza case. Some details on that were announced. Then we'll get into a couple unfortunate deaths, Mills Lane and Mike Leach. And we got 2 or 3 more people arrested. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then in my hive, we will get to the 3-bagger. We got a recap Week 13, Week 14, and our Week 15 picks will be here. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe and Sketty.
The buzz is brought to you by Busch Light. Attention hunters, your favorite camo cans are back. Get it wherever you purchase your adult beverages. Please drink responsibly. And Napoli Pizza, that's right. When there's football season on TBSP, there's Napoli's weekly specials, pickup or delivery available, located in North Warren. And a quick reminder to those watching, if you can't watch all of the show and you want to hear what you missed, you can either go back and obviously watch the videos that were embedded during the live show, or if you just want the audio, you can go on to Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. It'll be uploaded on there. It usually is within the hour after the show. So you can always catch it if you want to listen in your car or whatever you want to do. You're able to do that without actually watching the video. Although I know when Sketty's on here, everybody loves just looking at his mug. So that's why they prefer to be a live viewer. If you are in the live views, give us a like, a love, or an angry face if you think Sketty's ugly. Weekly tradition at this point. So he couldn't be with us, obviously. Andy, who's become like our substitute when he's not busy, he hops on with us. Thank you, Andy, for doing that, by the way.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, it's you've done it enough times now. I think you know the format just as well as we do, so it's pretty simple, right? For you to catch on to everything.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
So, all right, let's talk about this coming week. Sketty and I, so he went MIA for 24 hours. I thought he was dead, or they dropped his phone in a pancake batter. Those were my two assumptions. It was one of those two things. It was actually neither. But he gives me a call today. We talked for a half hour. They just have a lot going on at the restaurant right now. An employee, a longtime dedicated employee, fell sick. She's on the bounce back, but he's got to, make do with what he's got. He's got to fill some shifts and stuff. So it's no issue. That's why we have people like Andy who can hop on, when we need him to, and the show will go on. So, but him and I talked, and we decided that this year, which we didn't do this last year, we are doing what's called Tbsp 5 days of Christmas. So I have a shitload of Busch Light swag, including brand new cornhole boards, Busch Light cornhole boards with bags. They come with a carrier, the whole 9 yards. They're pretty nice. I actually opened them today because I had to do some, Phil's our product photographer, but when I need something quick, I have to try and improvise myself, which isn't always great. I'm not a photographer. but I think I did an okay job. So we will be posting the picture, which will become known as the original post for the 5 days of Christmas on Saturday. What you have to do is like the post, share the post, and comment on the original post. So make sure if you share it and people start liking it and commenting on it, that's not going to work. It has to be on the original post, or else I might not see it. You have to comment your favorite part of the show. So the instructions will be with the post, and drawings will begin December 20th. And they will go on each day, the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And finally, on the 24th is when we're going to do the cornhole boards. But in the meantime, you can win a nice little package like a Beehive Sports Podcast cooler with, it's a 6-pack cooler with a Busch Light tumbler, some koozies, a Busch Light t-shirt. There's all sorts of things that we're going to be packing into these deals. So watch for that on Saturday. The post will be getting put on the Facebook page. I suppose I should probably put it on Instagram. I'll figure that out. But we don't get on Instagram a whole lot. It's not our cup of tea.
Pretty sure you can set the Facebook to automatically go to Instagram.
Can't see. That's why we need a tech guy, Andy. I don't know that stuff.
I work a little bit in the tech, but yeah,
takes me a half hour to make a Facebook story.
Yeah, I think there's a way to whatever you post on Facebook will go to all social accounts, but don't.
I know on Instagram. On Instagram, I can definitely do that because I put something up and I can click it so it posts on Twitter. So I don't have to go on Twitter and do it. But yeah, I don't know. But we'll sort through that. But we'll get those up. And like I said, the grand prize coming that will be drawn Christmas Eve morning will be the Busch Light cornhole boards. They're awesome. I mean, they're very, very nice. They came straight out of the Busch Light catalog, along with the other stuff that we have to give away. We have lanyards, koozies. I don't know. There's a bunch of shit in there. So that's the plan, is the Beehive Sports Podcast 5 Days of Christmas. So watch for that post. Saturday is when it'll be going up. That's when you can begin sharing it, and we'll do a deadline cutoff of sometime Tuesday morning. I don't know. I'll figure that out. That'll be in the post too, and we'll go from there. So we'll get some winners and get some Christmas goodies out to people. I think that's pretty much it for the giveaway. I might be missing. I feel like I'm missing something. I was going to say something, and now I can't remember what it was. Tori says, "Don't be fooled and think it's a fanny pack." It does kind of look like a fanny pack that you can fit 6 beers in, though. So that's a win. Andy,
put good on the golf course.
It wouldn't be bad on the golf course.
I mean, aren't fanny packs kind of coming back?
I think they are back. Like for those who are into trends and stuff that's back. That's not me personally, but what are you drinking there?
Old fashioned.
I got work tonight, so I can't. Natasha in the comments says Bill's got Beasley back. Absolutely. We'll get to that here in the NFL segment here in a short bit. Colosimo, what about PIAA NIL? Yes, it's been approved. Waiting for Sketty on that because him and I have some decisions to make. Might be throwing out an NIL deal here or there. I don't know. Who knows? We shall see. All right. Got big plans this weekend, Andy?
Just finishing up for Christmas, getting ready.
Did you get your shopping done?
I'm done. Got to wrap a couple last minute things, ready to rock and roll.
I did mine in 2 hours the other day, and Devin yelled at me because she doesn't understand how I can do that. But I think it's just a guy thing when it comes to shopping, is it not?
Yeah. I mean, Amazon deliver it to my door. And hell, I don't even got to wrap it these days.
They wrap it for you too?
If you ask, I think there's an option that they'll actually wrap it inside the box.
Did you see you can they ran a program where you could tip your driver?
Yes.
But it went so well that they ended it, which doesn't make any sense to me. If it's going well, why wouldn't you keep doing it? Were they mad that drivers were getting more money?
Yeah, probably because Amazon wants to take a stipend from their driver tips.
That's probably true. As if that dude doesn't make enough. Like he makes what is it? Like 500,000 a second or something stupid like that.
He doesn't need any
50,000
more
a
money.
second. No, he
The
doesn't.
fact that you can get divorced, she takes 50%, and you're still like the third or fourth richest man ought to tell you something.
Yeah. All right. So, I remember what I was going to say. Next week, the plan, tentatively. So I don't go all getting all excited. But the plan is we promised a bonus show. We might be delivering 2 bonus shows because the plan for the weekly show is going to be Tuesday, 10 a.m. That's the plan so far. We know how that's been going the last few weeks, but we're being flexible. Bonus show Thursday is another plan. That one's subject to change, but in that, I recorded an interview this morning with a guy named Ray Russell, which you may not have heard of him. He's not extremely well known, but he's kind of getting there, gaining some notoriety. He's a 49-year-old D3 college football player.
Wow.
Yeah, North Dakota State College of Science. Science? Yeah, science.
What position does he play?
Nose tackle.
It's a tough job at 49 years old. Can he get out of bed the next morning?
Dude. So I'll give you. I don't want to ruin it because we're gonna play on the bonus show next week. We have it's gonna be different. Like we're not running the same format we normally do. Like it's gonna be. We have a couple of topics that are gonna be a little lengthy. We're gonna talk about them, and then we're gonna take one long commercial break. So all of our commercials that play throughout the show will play in the middle, and then after that is when the interview, we're going to pop the interview up and that'll play. So it's previously recorded, but so this guy's schedule, he works midnight to 8 a.m., then goes to team lifting, then goes to class, gets home in the afternoon, late afternoon, sleeps for about an hour, goes to football practice, then comes home, showers, sleeps for a few more hours, and goes back into work at midnight.
Don't even know what to say to that. That dude's a beast.
Yeah, he is a beast. So I talked to him today for quite a while, and then we recorded an interview. Great guy. He's actually originally from Washington, PA, so he's somewhat local to. I mean, he's on our side of the state. He doesn't live there anymore. North Dakota is where he's at, but really cool dude, just down to earth guy, and very humble. Because for what he's been doing and the attention he's been gaining. He was on College Game Day the weekend of Veterans Day. They had him on College Game Day, did a short story about him on there. He's just cool. He's a cool guy. So that'll be next week also. But all right, let's get moving into local shout outs. Again, like I said, these are probably a week behind because we've been hit or miss with shows, unfortunately, the last couple weeks, but we'll play catch up. So quick shout out. Warren Junior middle hitter Kylie Fellman and Junior libero Summer Lux earned Class 3A Pennsylvania Volleyball Coaches Association All-State honors. So shout out to Kylie and Summer for that. Chase Kyler, Colin Brown, and Trenton Mead each finished 4th in their respective weight classes. AJ Barnes and Matt Lubdell also brought home medals, and that's for Sheffield, winning the Hickory Invitational Tournament December 2nd and 3rd. Youngsville boys basketball won the Forest Tip-Off Tournament finals, beating Venango Catholic 62-30, and Warren boys basketball beat Brookville and became the tournament. They beat Union 75-45, winning the Brookville Tip-Off Tournament. So two of the 4 local high schools winning their tip-off tournaments. That's pretty cool for us down here in Warren County. Erie. Andy's in Erie. I don't know if anybody ever knew that. Has that ever been mentioned? Like, was that mentioned when you guys were? So, like, local shout outs to you. You're like, I have no fucking idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm always like, I have no idea who those people are, what school that is.
But. Yeah. So yeah, the four local schools: Youngsville, Warren, Eisenhower, Sheffield. 2 of those 4 won the boys basketball won their tip-off tournament. So, and shout out Parks Ordway for winning the tournament MVP in the Brookville tip-off tournament. So, all right, just wanted to fly through that because we're going to have to play catch up on local shout outs here before too long anyways. It's just there's like 3 games a week now, 4, 5, 6 games throughout all the schools. So it's hard to keep track of everything. Let's get into buzzing and buzzkill. Andy, besides the old fashioned, what's got you buzzing this week?
What's got me buzzing is the New York Yankees keeping Aaron Judge. I thought for a while there he was headed out of town. San Francisco basically opened up their pocketbook and said, what's it going to take? I'm glad the Yankees got a deal done with him. He's, he is that franchise right now. There's talks within the organization that he might become the first captain since Derek Jeter. So, the contract, it's lengthy. I don't know if I 100% agree with all of it. I mean, he's going to be 31 when the season starts pretty much, and it's a 9-year contract. I mean, is the guy really going to be producing that way at 40? I doubt it. But,
yeah,
in the short term, love it. Glad he's back. Hopefully they put that C on him and he can carry us to the playoffs, and then we can lose to your beloved Astros every year again.
All right. What's got me buzzing? The University of Virginia, they gave diplomas out to the families of Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry. They were the football players who were shot and killed by a former teammate. What was that, a couple weeks ago now, 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So I thought it was badass that University of Virginia did that. They honored them by giving them, sending diplomas to the family, making them honorary graduates of the University of Virginia. So I thought that was cool, something to note. What's killing your buzz, Andy?
Kill my buzz is, the team on the chest here, the New York Giants. We're 1-4-1 in our last 6 games. Starting 7-2. We're just not trending in the right direction. In December football. Am I 100% surprised? No, I think this was the Giants team we all thought we were going to get at the beginning of the year. I don't think anyone thought we were going to be 7-2. But, we control our own fate. Depends which way you look at it. I mean, our remaining schedule, you could look at it good or bad. I mean, we got Commanders, Vikings, Colts, and then the Eagles to finish it out. With the Eagles clinching, I highly doubt Week 18 the Eagles play anybody. But, Vikings, who knows? So still a chance. We're still in the hunt. But, man, they're killing me over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it too, though, that the 7-2 mark that the Giants reached was like just so far beyond anybody's expectations. Like there couldn't have been one person on the planet who was like, oh yeah, sure they'll be 7-2.
Yeah, they're talking Dable Coach of the Year at 7-2. Now they're talking, well, does he even deserve it? And
yeah,
this team was never supposed to be where they were. As a fan, great, but this is more reality, I think. We're banged up too. It's not helping anything. Extremely banged up in the secondary. We have no receivers. Saquon can't do it all.
Yeah, I think that we'll look back on this conversation in a couple years, though, and think like I think that they will be a good football team here in a couple years. Like they got a lot of young guys. They do need to address some positions, like specific positions, and they have time to do that. As far as next couple off seasons and whatnot. But yeah, I think you nailed it with where they were was a surprise to everybody. Where they are now is more kind of what everybody thought they would be. What's killing my buzz? Well, this is ironic. Aaron Judge. 9-year contract worth $360 million. It's a record for a position player, $40 million average annual value. It's a lot of money to pay a guy to watch the Astros in the World Series every year. I just don't know how, if that's to ease the pain. Is that why the Yankees did that? Were they like, hey, you carry your weight all season long. We deserve to pay you so that you can go on a really, really nice vacation during, late October. So do you think that had anything to do with it? Probably not. Huh?
No, I think a lot of, I mean, the New York fans pressure the organizations on all sides. It doesn't, no matter which sport you're talking about. And I think they saw that. I don't know. I'm with you in a sense. I hate big contracts. I hate them in any sport. I think these guys get paid. I see, Joe Colosimo even kind of said it in the comments, year and a half, dead weight after that. I feel like that's a lot of guys in these massive contracts in any sport. I hope Judge is different, but we'll see.
Sherman says, true or false, Aaron Judge will never win a title in those 9 years. I'll leave that to the Yankee fan to answer because you already know what I'm going to say, Sherm.
I say Joe says true. I say false. They're there. They got the staff. We know they're going to make more moves in the off season. This was the big one to start, and they'll be the typical Yankees. We're going to pay somebody to come in, and we're going to pay to beat the Astros. I think that's what they're striving for. But
they have to. I mean,
I can see him getting at least one in those 9 years.
Yeah, it'd be hard. Even as a Yankee hater, like it'd be hard for me to sit here and with a straight face and be like, no, he never will. He absolutely could. I mean, they're just too good they're in the mix every year. One of the years it's going to go their way. What it's going to take, I don't know if it's buying more players or coaching change, which is kind of something that I think.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I mean, Boone has been successful in the regular season, but you're the Yankees. You don't put a ring on that finger, then we don't care. Yeah,
that's been my kind of thing with him. Like, I don't know, the last 5-6 years, I just don't know that he's the guy who's going to get him there. It just seems like, I don't know if he tenses up. The players just don't look like they're playing as loose. The coach seems a little more high strung. Of course he is. It's playoffs. Like, I get that. I'm not saying like he should just treat it like it's nothing. It's any other game because you can't. It's almost impossible. But it just doesn't seem like the pressure becomes too big for Aaron Boone in that moment. I don't know if that's my kind of take on it. But while we're speaking of shitty contracts, Carlos Correa. So the Giants swing and miss with Judge and just dump I didn't even write how much it was. I know it's astronomical contract to Correa, which is crazy to me because as he's been good. He's been really good, but he's never really been great. And I just don't see that much money being worth that much money at all.
Yeah, it shows how much I pay attention to Carlos Correa. I didn't even know he played for the Twins this year.
Yeah.
I had no idea. He got a 13-year, $350 million.
I mean, so as far as the years go, he's young.
Right. The 13 is fine. I mean,
I'd say it's still probably too many, but like 9 would have made more sense with him, I would think. But
although he's
how old
20,
is he?
He's 28. So, I mean, 13
he's 28?
Yeah. So I guess he's 40, 41 when his contract's up.
Yeah, you're right. Because he came up in like 17 or 16, one of the two. So yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I just his numbers, he hasn't really made any, like gotten over any huge humps number wise. Strong arm at short, but I don't know. I just too much. All right, you ready to talk some NFL?
Always.
All right, let me cue up the reality overreaction. So you're my sketty today. I read them, you react.
Easy shoes to fill, but.
All right, here we go. Reality overreaction. Jalen Hurts is the MVP frontrunner. Wearing a Giants shirt. I can't wait to hear your answer on this one.
I'm a true NFL fan, even though I hate the Eagles. I say this is a reality. Jalen Hurts is that team right now. I mean, the dude has been playing solid every week. I don't really know who else has played at his level as consistently all year long. I mean, you could argue Patrick Mahomes, you could argue Josh Allen, but they've both had some off weeks, and Hurts just is consistent. I think he's the best player on that team right now. It's probably pretty easy with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders behind you, a solid defense, but I'm not sure who else beats him out right now. I think he has to be the front runner.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think you're dead on. I mean, he's just been consistent, and that's what it comes down to with that award, because it really is. It's statistically the best quarterback. That's what that award should be called. And that we talked about that like 3-4 weeks ago when Tua was on a real hot streak. And we saw what the Dolphins were like without Tua. Lost, 1 or 2 games in a row. And then Tua comes back and they're kind of like back on track winning football games. And that's, if it's most valuable player, then wouldn't it, to me, it's the guy who, if you take him away from that team, what's that team like? If that team sucks, then that means, that's just that's what I believe the award should be when you say most valuable player. But clearly, the way this award has gone is it's statistically the best quarterback. That's who wins this award.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Whatever quarterback's the best is going to win the MVP, but I agree. I mean, there's plenty of players around the league. I mean, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill. I mean, you take those guys out of those teams, they're probably nobody, especially the Vikings. You take Jefferson out of that lineup, that team is nothing.
Yeah.
But, whatever quarterback's the best, and it's Hurts right now.
All right, reality or overreaction. The Chiefs won't get home field advantage in the playoffs.
Oof. Without really looking at the AFC stats off the top of my head, I say reality. I think Bills are Bills number 1 seed currently right now. I don't know what, I know they got the Dolphins coming into town this weekend, which isn't going to be an easy game, but it sounds like it could be an awful snowy one up there again.
Yeah.
I would say reality. I think the Bills can hold them off long enough, and Chiefs will be coming to Buffalo.
I hope you're right. However, if you look at the remaining schedules, it's definitely favorable because right now, both teams 10-3, with Buffalo getting the 1 seed because they have the head-to-head. So if it comes down to winning out, they both have to win out. Then the Chiefs have the easier path. Buffalo has Miami this week, then Chicago, but then they go to Cincinnati on a Monday night. And then the Patriots again. But so, I mean, much tougher. I can't remember exactly who, like the Chiefs have Texans this week, and I know they still have the Broncos and Raiders left. And there's one other team in there. I can't remember who it is, but an easier path goes to Kansas City. Hopefully Buffalo just wins out, controls their own destiny, and that's be the first time the Chiefs they've played like 5 straight games against Kansas City in Kansas City, which is ridiculous. But reality or overreaction, Watson doesn't make the Browns any better.
Is this even a question? I have a feeling I know your answer, but this is 100% reality. I'd put Jacoby Brissett right back in there. They at least won some games, looked decent. I agree with you in all the past shows about Deshaun Watson. I mean, the dude, sure, 2 years ago when he was playing, give me Deshaun Watson all day long, but no, he doesn't do anything for the Browns except drain their pocketbook.
That's what it's been so far. Now we're only through 2 games. He hadn't played in like 700 days, so but yeah, I think the Browns are in a position where, well, financially, obviously, but they want him to get to game speed, take him into camp next year. Like, they're playing for next season right now. They know that. There's really no other thought process that can be going through their heads, I wouldn't think. But I think it's too early to call that he's not going to work out at all. But right now, just looks really, really bad. Like an expensive, a very, very fully guaranteed mistake. Because that's what the contract was. I mean, they gave him, he's getting every last dollar no matter what happens.
Yeah, it's the Browns being the Browns again. I think when I was on with Sketty, we talked about it. Run the football. You got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and you're going to try to throw it. Like, just turn around and hand it off.
I agree. Reality or overreaction? The Bengals are the team to beat in the AFC.
Ooh, I'm gonna go overreaction. They're hot right now, but I think we saw at the beginning of the year what can happen to them. I think they got Mixon back maybe, but Chase coming back. I think this is a little bit of a reaction. I mean, they got the Chiefs number, but what are they going to do if they run into the Bills? I guess we'll find out. I'll find out on that Monday
in a couple weeks. Yeah.
So ask me this question again in a couple weeks, I guess. But I say right now, overreaction. They're hot right now, but the AFC has since the start of the year, and I think it continues to flow through either Kansas City or Buffalo.
Reality overreaction. After a great start, Tua has come crashing back down to earth.
Reality. I think that dude's still screwed up in the head a little bit from earlier in the year. Unfortunately, he's got enough weapons around him. I mean, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, but this is a reality. I think this was kind of like the Giants. I think this was more of the Tua I think people thought we were going to get, not the Tua that we had. He has potential. He's not bad. It's just this is the more normal Tua.
So I was listening. I was listening to GR. That's like the only radio show I listen to is Howard and Jeremy or the Extra Point Show, and they were talking about, which I didn't realize this, that statistically, the Dolphins have one of the worst short pass games in the league, and that just blows my mind with Tua or with having Waddle and I know you want to stretch the field with your fast guys, but also don't you kind of semi-often dump it to him quick, let him, in space, let them do their thing. I want to give Tyreek the ball with nobody near him and let them try to come to him, right? Isn't that kind of what you want to do with a guy like him?
Yeah, I feel like that's what the Chiefs did with him when they could. I mean, Kelsey kind of, if Kelsey went long, Tyreek was across the middle and let the guy,
underneath, yeah.
Odell was the same way for the Giant. It just let those guys do what they do. That guy's so fast. That fumble recovery.
Stupid.
I'm like, oh my God.
Reality overreaction. The 49ers can win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy.
Oh, Sketty would love this. I go reality. That, and it's not Brock Purdy. That defense in San Francisco is unreal. They are. I haven't really watched them that much this year. Watched them this past weekend. That defense is insane. I think Purdy does enough. He doesn't have to do it all. You got Christian McCaffrey. Debo going down doesn't help your cause, but you still got CMC. You got Kittle. I think Brandon Ayuk is a solid number 2 who's going to take into that number 1 role. I think they can do it. I think the kid's. What's he got to lose? This kid's just out there playing ball.
He really is. I mean, because that's still in everybody's eyes. That's Trey Lance's team. Garoppolo's the sure thing. I would say going to be gone after this season. So what's Brock Purdy have to lose other than just play ball? Show the world what he can do. Because
Mr. Irrelevant. I don't think anybody. When you put him in, you're like, oh, great, here goes this 49ers season, and nobody's giving him credit. But with that defense, what do you got to score? 10, 13 points a game? I mean, you don't got to score much.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Reality overreaction. Cole Beasley will help get the Bills' offense back on track.
Overreaction. I think the Bills need. I've said it from day one, and I know you disagree. And the Bills got to run the ball. I think you got to run. I think James Cook could be a player if you give him the damn ball. Allen's going to get hurt. Luckily, he hasn't yet. Didn't he hurdle somebody this past weekend again?
It's always he does that a lot.
That dude's going to get hurt. I think you got to run the ball. Beasley's going to help, but I don't think it gets them on track to where they were to the start of the season.
See, and this is, I'll get called a homer for this all day, and that's fine. But I think this is a reality. Cole Beasley has been Josh Allen's safety net the last 3 years. He wasn't there this year. The Isaiah McKenzie experiment at slot has been just an utter failure. He is inconsistent, doesn't get open a lot. When he does, he has a lot of drops. I think that this is going to help their offense immensely once he's game ready. And for the record, they have been running the ball, and they have been running the ball successfully, and they haven't been putting up as many points as they did when they were throwing the ball all over the place. So it's funny to listen to people like not you, but like a lot of Bills fans who for the first 6 weeks were like, man, we need a run game. We need a run game. And then all of a sudden they start running the ball and they're having some success and they're not scoring as many points because they're controlling the clock longer. The drives are longer. You know, it's just the way the game of football goes. And now they're all bitching. Our offense doesn't look good. It doesn't look great. I don't know what to do, which it hasn't been. The pass game has been bad. And that's, you know, if it's Allen's elbow, I don't know what it is, but I do think that Beasley being underneath, always just being able to find a spot to sit and be open, I think it's going to be a huge help for Buffalo. And I'm excited that he's back. Very excited that he's back.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, I think, yeah, Hunter just commented. I agree with that.
Beasley is Allen's Edelman. Yeah. All right, last one. Reality or overreaction? Baker can become the Rams' long-term answer at QB.
Overreaction. I think Baker's done. I think he's a solid fill-in, a solid backup, but I don't think he's just, it's kind of like Brock Purdy almost. It's like, what do you got to lose? You got dumped by the Browns, you got dumped by the Panthers. Like, you might as well just go out there and play ball, but he's not their long-term answer. I think the Rams got to rebuild. If they have any money, I don't know. I don't think they got any money, but
no, they have no money and no draft capital for like ever. My brain works really weird when it comes to Baker, but I still have not given up on him. I don't know why. I can't let go of Baker Mayfield, and I don't know why. I think if he's put in the right spot, whether that be with McVay, I don't know. But I just have this feeling that Baker can turn this thing around. And we'll see. Probably not, but I'm hanging on to hope. I think that he can make it work somewhere, sometime, and everybody will, who once hated him will continue hating him, and those who supported him will say, "I told you so." All right, real quick, we're not going to get too much into bowl season. It does start tomorrow, though, which is exciting. I love bowl season because it's like, hey, I work nights tonight, so if I wake up, I only sleep a couple hours when I get home. I wake up, bam, 11 a.m., there's a college football bowl game on Friday. No reason, no particular reason, just random day, random time, bowl game. There's another one at like 3 o'clock, I think. I don't remember the times, but I love bowl season just because background noise. It's great background noise. You turn on, whatever game's on, you're doing shit. It's cool. TCU, Michigan opens at Michigan -8, Ohio State and Georgia -7. Who do you like in those games? Obviously, they aren't taking place for fucking 3 weeks, but what do you like here?
I like Michigan over TCU. I just think Michigan's a better team all the way around, and being a ex-New Yorker and a current Pennsylvanian, I cannot stand Ohio State. I can't stand anything to do with them. I hate everything about them. So whoever's playing Ohio State, I cheer for. I could care less who it is. It could be Appalachian State. I'm going to cheer for them. So, I think it's going to be a good game. But
you're a Syracuse guy, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, we started strong and did not finish well. But we got the Pinstripe Bowl, which is nice.
You got a bowl game, yeah.
We came bowl eligible. We got the Pinstripe Bowl, so we kind of keep it in New York. But yeah, Georgia all the way. And when I was a kid growing up, I actually loved Michigan. I loved Charles Woodson eras of the world. So
you think it's going to be – wasn't that the championship last year, Georgia and Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a repeat.
Yeah, I mean, part of me is, I liked a little bit of the underdog story. I mean, TCU kind of came out of nowhere, I think, this year in college football. So I don't mind if they beat Michigan.
Right.
As long as it's not Ohio State or Alabama.
Yeah. So any of those three teams look good as long as it's not Ohio State, right?
Exactly. Or Alabama, who's not in the playoffs anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're playing K-State, I think, is what they got. Sugar Bowl or something, maybe. I can't remember. But all right. So here's the deal, because we're skipping a couple segments. We are going to take a kind of extended commercial break. And we'll be back with the things that sting. We're going to be going right into that. So hang around.
Whenever you crack open a bush light, the mountain starts singing.
It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you.
What is going on?
Hit it, Giant Kenny G.
It's so smooth.
And for the mountains of Bush Light Beer.
Hungry? Watching the game? Order some Napoli's Pizza, voted the best pizza in the Times Observer Reader's Choice every year. Homemade, hand-tossed, delicious hot pizza, stromboli, salads, subs, and so much more. Located in North Warren, come on in or call 814-723-7455 and ask about our specials. Pickup or delivery available 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, that's 814-723-7455.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment to tell you about our new website, yourdailylocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to yourdailylocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Hey there, everyone. This is Phil with JP Photography. I know. A photography ad on a sports show? I get it. You're here for sports talk and listening to Joe and Sketty's insane rambling.
Wait, what?
But bear with me for a few. I just want to tell you that JP Photography not only offers wedding photography, but also does events, engagements, headshots, family photos, and even some product photography. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for JP Photography or go directly to our website at johnphilphotography.com. That's JONPHIL photography.com.
He's at
Jones Pest Control, your hometown pest control company servicing residential and commercial properties in Warren and surrounding areas since 2015. Sean and his crew will work tirelessly to keep your home or business free of insects to rodents and everything in between. Contact Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548 and set up an appointment today. And remember, ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548.
Checkout means sales and services with 2 locations on Warren's east side. Their garage at 800 Lexington Avenue not only services cars sold by Means, but has knowledgeable staff and modern state-of-the-art equipment waiting to serve their hometown of Warren. Whatever you need, including alignments, tires, brakes, yearly or enhanced PA inspections, oil changes, and much more. Make your appointment today at 814-723-7191, extension 2.
It's now time for the things that sting. The worst stories in sports, according to Joe.
Things that stings, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice. Don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. That's 814-230-9548. All right. So, a lot to get to here. Former Bills punter, Matt Ariza. That's what we're going to start with. Geez, I don't think I did all my banners for this either. Rushed today. Yeah, I didn't. That's okay. I got a few of them done. Former Bills punter Matt Ariza. So we talked about him, punt god, who, as he was known, he will not be criminally charged after he was accused in a civil suit. Hold on, this music sucks. You agree?
I didn't want to say anything, but yes. It's your show.
Yeah, that wasn't cool. What was that one called? feeding the ducks or into space. I can't remember. Can I delete it? Yeah. Removed. Officially removed from the playlist. We'll go with Night Driving. These are preloaded, by the way. Like, I didn't make these. Like, they're just preloaded in the StreamYard program. So you get what you get, you know?
Just need a tech guy.
Well, I can't, like, play anything that's copyrighted. Like, all the, you know, like, I can't play, like, can't have Eminem banging behind me while we're discussing football because he could sue, and I don't know what the hell he'd get. I could give him a case of beer. Wouldn't get much.
Set a Busch Light cornhole board, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, he could really fuck up the 5 days of Christmas. All right, anyways. Matt Ariza will not be criminally charged after he was accused in a civil suit in August of participating in a gang rape and false imprisonment of a 17-year-old girl, the San Diego County District Attorney's Office announced on Wednesday. Quote, ultimately, prosecutors determined it is clear the evidence does not support the filing of criminal charges and there is no path to a potential criminal conviction, the DA's office said in a press release. Prosecutors can only file charges when they ethically believe that they can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. So what that means for him, I don't know. The civil suit will continue, but I still don't think he's probably on the no-touch list at this point, right? He's a punter. Nobody really cares enough to give him a chance. Like Deshaun, you know, former star quarterback, the NFL will look the other way on certain things. Well, at least the Browns organization will, and still bring him in. But yeah, I don't know. I guess wait and see what happens if he's cleared. What if he's going to settle the civil suit, or are they taking it to court? Who knows? So none of that was announced. So we'll just, you know, keep our ears open for that. But no criminal charges for Matt Ariza. This is where I do have a couple banners. Do you have something you wanted to say? You wanted to add?
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think he's probably done. I mean, he's a punter. It's not like he's going to change the game, you know, drastically for anybody. And I just think it's too much baggage to deal with. But you never know.
Yeah.
He gets cleared of everything, settles the suits, he's good to go. Yeah, hell, I mean, maybe the Browns will pick him up.
He'd fit right in. All right, Mills Lane. Do you know who Mills Lane is, right? Did you see this?
Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah.
Referee, right?
Yeah. So famous, you know, boxing referee, became a judge later. Who he first rose to fame as a boxer, then a referee, then a Washoe County District Attorney and judge. He died. This would have been 2 Tuesdays ago now. Tuesday morning in Reno, his son Tommy Lane told RGJ that Lane died after being in hospice for the past week. Lane's health had been on decline since a stroke in 2002. He was 85 years old. Celebrity Deathmatch. He was the ref during the Holyfield-Tyson ear bite match. So, yeah, I mean, prominent guy. I always liked Mills Lane. Loved him in Celebrity Deathmatch, though. I mean, because that's
where I remember him from.
Well, that's like an our generation show, MTV show that, like, you know, we would know what that is. Whereas, like, if you said that to like a group of 20-year-olds right now, they'd probably have no idea what you're talking about, right? Is that fair?
That 100%. They would have no clue. They'd be like, "Oh, so there was a celebrity something."
Yeah. Could they do that show now in 2022?
Oh God, no, not
too violent. Yeah, because they were like ripping heads off and stuff, right?
Yeah, not with our cancel culture and all. No, not a chance.
Yeah,
we can't do anything.
Correct. All right, this one's gross. Jalen Kitna, son of John Kitna, was arrested for in a child pornography case. Florida Gators QB and 19-year-old son of John Kitna. As I said, he was booked on 5 separate charges. 2 counts of distribution of child exploitation material and 3 counts of possession of child pornography. Gainesville Police Department says it executed a search warrant on Wednesday at Jalen Kitna's Florida residence after it received a tip that a Discord user had distributed an image of child sexual abuse material through the social media messaging platform. An investigation revealed that the account belonged to Kitna. As part of the search warrant, Kitna's electronic devices were seized, and they say that an ensuing search revealed the Florida Gators football player was in possession of 3 additional images of child sexual abuse material. So, disgusting, 1, and 2, that's one you don't rebound from. He's done for. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
right.
donezo.
You do anything with children, it doesn't matter who you are. You're done. You're done
Correct.
in every aspect. I think maybe Sketty and I even talked. I mean, my father's a retired correction officer in New York State, and you get a child rapist, child porn, whatever in the prison system, you got to lock them up 24/7.
Yeah, you can't go can't go in general population.
Yeah, no, this is
that's
disgusting, and
won't make it out of there.
He's gonna have to go live in his father's basement the rest of his life.
A lot of the headlines for that said son of former star quarterback John Kitna, and that
I don't know if I consider him a star.
That's what a lot of people were like caught up with that headline, and were like, "Wait, what? He was a star? At what point was that?" So next up is our first and only Things That Sting Hall of Famer, Antonio Brown. Had a warrant issued for his arrest. Police issued the warrant on a charge of domestic battery. It stems from an argument with his ex-fiancee turned physical at his South Tampa home after he threw a shoe at her. Investigators said that afternoon, police tried to serve the arrest warrant at the house, but no one opened the front door and officers left. A narrative written by the officer, so a police report is essentially what that is, went on to say that the victim's belongings were thrown out into the street, but by the time law enforcement arrived, she had gathered them all and put them in the driveway. The victim also noted that Brown has 2 guns inside the house. During the ordeal, police said Brown locked himself in the house while officers tried to speak with him. Investigators said Brown threatened to shoot her if she tried to enter the house. Quote, the suspect placed an informal eviction notice on the door with 11/28/22 as the date, showing the victim had 7 days to gather her belongings and leave, the police report said. Quote, the suspect continued throughout the incident to state that the victim had no right to be at the residence or even gain entry to it because she did not live there. The victim's ID has the listed address as her residence as of October 18th of 2022. The officer said after many failed attempts to convince Brown to allow her to gather her belongings, they advised the victim to spend the night elsewhere. According to police, the children were told they could go back inside the house, but they were afraid to. The next day, Tampa police filed a risk protection order against Brown, which can be issued if a person poses a significant threat or significant risk to themselves or others and has access to a gun. However, the judge denied the request. So that's essentially a PFA in Pennsylvania is what that would be called. But down there, they call it a risk protection order in Florida. But yeah, so and this was like a couple weeks ago now. And I still haven't heard of that warrant being served. So I don't know if he's on lockdown in his house or what he's doing. But
I mean, yeah. First of all it made me think of was Austin Powers. I mean, who throws a shoe? But
yeah.
But this guy, these judges, somebody needs to just lock this guy up and get him off. I don't know.
He needs a timeout.
He does. Like, he needs some help. I hope somebody could help him. I think he's the head case, but these judges not issuing and not granting the PFA, whatever you want to call it, it just,
which is shocking to me. After he says,
offender.
He says he'll shoot her. Like he said that. He said if she comes in the house, I'm going to shoot her. And they still don't give the PFA, which is shocking to me. But whatever. I mean, judges see things or perceive things differently, and it's just the way our country works. But all right, these are sadly these are a couple more stories. 2 of them I don't have banners for, but Chris Beard, the head coach of Texas basketball, arrested early Monday morning for allegedly strangling his fiancée after Austin police responded to a 911 call at the home in Tarrytown. He was released Monday afternoon from Travis County Jail after paying a $10,000 bond. He is charged with felony 3 family violence. Beard's lawyer, Perry Minton, said he should have never been arrested, Minton told the newspaper. The complainant wants him released immediately and all charges dismissed. It is truly inconceivable. So, what we have here, a domestic violence case where 911's called, right, by the victim. And the next day we have her saying, I want him released, and the charges dropped. I can't even begin to tell you how frequently that occurs.
I can only imagine in your line of work what you see with that stuff.
Heat of the moment, it's I want him charged, which in Pennsylvania, if there's, like if I respond to that call and she's got redness around her neck and she's saying, yeah, he strangled me, I couldn't breathe, he gets charged no matter what. Even if she's like, I don't want him charged. It's in Pennsylvania. If there's recent signs of injury during a domestic violence situation, you're getting arrested. Like there, and that's not my choice. That's the law. Like we're following the law by doing that. You have to be charged if you're in a domestic violence incident and you put marks on somebody, you break their nose, whatever it might be. In this case, strangled somebody. So yeah, it's we'll see how it shakes out. But I always like reading the attorney's response to things because they're always, my guy did not do this and she wants the charges dismissed. Well, it's, that's not always how it works, but that's what they have to say. Like it doesn't, I don't think he's dumb for saying that. He's doing his job, Perry Minton or whatever his name is. But yeah, so he's currently suspended from Texas without pay. Like right when we're getting close to conference play for college basketball too. So that's kind of big. We'll see how it goes. Last one, which is my least favorite of all of these. Mike Leach, Mississippi State football coach. Mike Leach dies Monday after complications related to a heart condition. He was 61 years old. Leach suffered what the university initially described in a news release as a personal health issue at his home in Starkville on Sunday, which required him to be airlifted to UMMC in Jackson, Mississippi, about 125 miles from Mississippi State. Mike Leach was the fucking man.
I agree.
He was like one of the coolest dudes you could ever I could read Mike Leach stories all day long. They're that great. Lincoln Riley's come out and told a few over the past couple days. One was when Lincoln Riley was trying to play on his football team, and he came back, or he told Lincoln Riley, listen, if you want to come and work for me, you can, but you're never going to make it on this football team. Well, Lincoln Riley was all pissed off, left, came back a couple days later after he cooled off and said, okay, I'll work for you. And, how'd that pan out?
Yeah.
Pretty well for Lincoln Riley, right?
Because somebody else came from Leach's program too,
Oh,
right?
a bunch. Cliff, I think Kingsbury did.
Yeah, I think Kingsbury.
Yeah, there's a bunch. His coaching tree is pretty big. But another good one about Mike Leach was another Lincoln Riley story where he said when he was an assistant and he's sitting in his office and his phone rings and Mike Leach answers his phone, starts talking to the guy and he says, where are you calling from? And, continues the conversation and they keep talking. Well, then at some point, and according to Lincoln Riley, a Mike Leach phone call would be like your average phone call. If you're calling him on the phone's like an hour and a half, like you're talking for a while. So he has this guy he's talking to this guy, talking to him. Well, then he's talking to the guy, says, can you hear me? Well, they had lost reception. So he calls the guy back, continues the conversation, gets off the phone finally. And Lincoln Riley's like, who was that? And he goes, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that guy called the wrong number. And he just kept him on the line that long. Like, it's great. Like Mike, he was a beast. He was a great coach. Always fun to listen to in interviews. If you're bored, just YouTube Mike Leach interviews if you want to laugh about some shit, because he was great.
He's like, you click the article and, artificial intelligence these days in your Facebook feed and your Instagram feed, and all your feeds are all these. I watched some video. They interviewed him about Thanksgiving dinner, and he went on about how he makes gravy, and that's the only thing he makes, but he doesn't really like gravy. And I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. He's on the field. I mean, this is the conversation. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, he was always he would go on about anything you wanted to talk about. He'd talk about it, and he was
He
great.
was a good coach too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Yeah, he was
a solid coach.
The big thing under Mike Leach, obviously, was his air attack, throwing the football. But if you look at numbers, like some of the best single season yards put up by a quarterback, an individual quarterback, were under Mike Leach's watch. So it's interesting to read about, but great guy. It's too bad. I would say bet your mortgage on Mississippi State in the bowl game.
I don't know if I'll do that, but
I would. That team has all sorts of motivation now to win that game for Mike. And something, I mean, I know you're just getting into betting, but if anybody in the comments is into betting, they'll probably have my back on this. When it comes to college football, bowl season betting, you look at motivational factors. That's the only thing you need to pay attention to. Look at players opting out. That affects the morale of the whole team, and things like that is what you want to look at, because these bowl games are essentially meaningless, right? Except for the playoff. Aside from the playoff, these bowl games don't mean shit. So that's what you need to find, is which team has the drive. Why are they playing? What are they playing for? Who's playing? It's all about motivation. So just a hot tip if you're going into betting in the bowl season this year, something to look for. And I think that Mississippi State has as much motivation as any team in the playoff right now. It's simply because of this taking place. I know a lot of people, how sports go. A lot of people will say, well, they're mourning the loss. They're upset. They might not play that well. Find me a guy who had a tragedy take place during the week and then go tell me how he did on Sunday or whatever, day it might be. It's almost just mutually exclusive or hand in hand, however you want to phrase it, that player usually plays out their ass.
Yeah, no, makes sense.
Except for Tom Brady, but that's because he knows everybody's happy that he's miserable. If somebody like Brett Favre when his dad passed away, Josh Allen when his grandma passed away, you could Google that and find a million examples when things like that happen of guys who just play great. But it's because everybody's like, damn, like they're, you're supporting that in a sense, that you want them to play well that night because they did have a bad week. And generally sports fans become good people in times of tragedy somehow. All right. Do you got anything you want to add to this segment? Did I miss anything that you saw that you're like, hey, we should talk about that?
I'd have to find it. And, there was something out there. It was another college. I don't know if it was football or basketball, that the cops approached the team, told them not to go home because there was allegations against some of their players. And the coach basically told them to pound salt, and they got on the bus and left anyways. I can't remember where it was. I want to say it was like New Mexico or something.
Stand by.
There was something, and it was just recent. I just saw the article the other day. I can't say that I read a ton about it, but there was something that they left. They were told not. They were told not to. If I find it,
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'll look for that too for next week, because that'd be something to get into. Okay, we're gonna take a break. Much shorter break than the last one, and we will be back with wrapping up the show with My Hive and the Three Baggers. We got to review a couple weeks. We got 9 picks this week because Andy's coming back with his. Didn't you go 0-3? Yeah, you did. When you
I warned everybody that day that don't take my picks because it ain't gonna happen. So we'll see what happens this week.
All right, all right. We'll be right back. Blue Line Auto, located at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren, is locally owned and operated and is a family-run business specializing in vehicle sales and service. They offer state and safety inspections and general car repairs, including but not limited to brakes and rotors, tires, oil changes, batteries, starters, and alternators. They also offer vehicle undercoating prior to winter to help keep your vehicle protected. Currently, their hours are Monday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Thursday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them today to schedule your next appointment at 814-230-9061. Your safety is their goal.
Hi, this is Ryan Klein, the host of the new pop culture podcast, Me, Myself, and Rye. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and several other platforms. Special guests, breakaway shows, bonus episodes, cold beers, and a whole lot more. So what are you guys and gals waiting for? Subscribe now to the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast on Spotify or wherever it is that you get your shows and start listening today.
My High, Joe and Sketty's very own world of sports.
My Hive is presented by Blue Line Auto. For all your automotive needs, call Blue Line Auto at 814-230-9061 or stop in at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren. All right, 3-bagger. So, yeah, you scorched to an 0-3 when you I wish I should have looked up those picks that you had so we could go back and review them. Although we reviewed them the following week, but so we have to review week 13 and week 14. Week 15 will be my picks, Sketty's picks, and Andy has 3 for you. And then, of course, Sketty's Bang Bang Niner Gang lock of the week for tonight's game, which he's not. So I wasn't here to defend myself against you guys when I made my picks, when you guys announced them for me. So I can't wait to get into Sketty's picks.
Yeah, I beat you up a little bit, I think.
You did beat me up. And I had a good week, too. So I was happy that you guys fucking talking shit and then my picks do well. So week 13, we'll review mine first. I had Bills -4 at Pats. That was a cover. Broncos +8.5. That was a cover. Texans +7. That was a loss simply because the Browns defense scored more than their offense did. That's week 13, of course. So I went 2-1. Sketty had Jets. Let's see. He had the Vikings -3 covered. Covered the Saints +3.5 at the Bucks. Lost the Bengals. He took the Chiefs -2.5 at Cincinnati. Lost that one. And his lock of the week was Dolphins +3, which was a loss. So week 14, Sketty Jets +9.5 with a cover because of a stupid ass safety. Texans +16.5 over Cowboys was a cover. Dolphins -3 at Chargers was a loss. I had my first losing week in for a long time. It's been a while. Went 1-2. I had the Ravens +2.5 covered at Steelers. Browns +6.5. Titans -4.5. Both lost. Sketty's last. Where are we at here? Oh, these are Sketty's new picks. Okay, we don't want to say those yet. My notes are all fucked up, and I didn't have Sketty's lock on here from last week, but who'd they play last week? Who'd the Niners play last week? The Dolphins. Oh, he picked the Dolphins. Wait, wouldn't that have been 2 weeks ago? I don't know. Whatever. Either way, Sketty right now 21-21. He pulls even after a 2-1 week. I dropped to 25-15-2, still pretty solid. And I'll have to look to see what Sketty's locks of the weeks are at right now because I'm missing one here somewhere. But anyways, let's get into this week's picks. So we're going to start off with Andy. So I'm going to have to bounce around here. Oh, I didn't put your name on those two, but that's okay. All right, we're starting out Andy's first pick. Colts at Vikings, -4.5.
Vikings took a tough loss last week. I think they bounced back against a up and down Colts team heading into, final few weeks of the season. Little tune-up game for the Vikings. I think they just steamroll the Colts. I think they cover that no problem.
My fear with this one is that there's no other games going on while this is being played, so all eyes on Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but it's a Saturday, so are people going to be too busy to not tune in because they're like, oh wait, there's football on Saturday, or do the
I think
true fans know?
They're watching. Everybody's watching. So yeah, I mean, the Colts do stink. There's that, and you were right. They're coming off of a fucking beatdown from the Lions. So you'd think, yeah, it'd be a good bounce back game for him. We'll see. We'll see how Kirk does when the lights are on. We know how that usually goes. All right, my first pick, I got the Lions plus 1.5 at the Jets. Lions are grooving right now, and I like them getting points. They were favorites to beat the Vikings last week. I'm surprised they aren't favorites here. That's kind of strange to me, but that just tells me that Vegas really doesn't trust Minnesota. Which rightfully so. But yeah, I'm liking the Lions with the points. You're at the Jets. I don't think the Jets have some extreme home field advantage here. And they're hitting their stride right now at the right time. Big playoff implications in this game too for both teams. This is a must win for both. So you give me must win, grind it out, grit, dirt, hate, anger. I'm going Dan Campbell.
Yeah, I don't disagree with this pick. I guess the only thing I didn't look at the weather forecast in the city. With this storm that's rolling across right now, it's going to hit Buffalo. Like I know, like down here, well, too. I mean, what's the weather going to be like Sunday in New York? Is this,
Buffalo?
Lions used to playing in a dome.
Saturday, I know Buffalo and Miami's scheduled to be in snow. So
yeah, I'd just be curious. The Lions coming out of a dome playing outside in the Meadowlands, is that going to affect them a little bit? But
yeah, we'll see. All right, this one doesn't have your name on it because I forgot to put your name, but it is yours. Chiefs minus 14 at Texans.
Like you said earlier, I'm a little new to betting, and I have always stayed away from these large spreads, but it seems like they pan out. So I'm just going to take a chance. I mean, the Texans are garbage. They're just terrible. Although they took the Cowboys for a run last week. I was definitely cheering for them. But
if Sketty was here right now, he would say that's because the Cowboys are trash.
Well, they are. I rip on Sketty, but when it comes to the Cowboys, him and I agree on that. So I just, think the Chiefs just steamroll them. I think it's like a tune-up game, and the Chiefs have to win. I mean, they can't sit their players. I mean, they're still fighting it out with the Bills, so they got to take every win they can get, and they're just gonna pile it on.
All right. My second one. Where's it at here? Steelers at Panthers minus 2.5. I don't care if Mitch Trubisky or Mason Rudolph are playing quarterback. Neither one of them is good. Kenny Pickett had this team at least playing a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? They were a little bit of inspired football. They were playing hard, and I just think when he went down, red zone turnovers started happening, bad decisions by the quarterback. Trubisky stinks. Mason Rudolph stinks because he couldn't beat out Trubisky for the number 2 spot. Panthers have hope to make the playoffs still because that division is just so fucking bad. So they're at home. I just like them win this game by a field goal, all they need to do. And I could see them doing that. So I'm riding the Panthers minus 2.5. All right, Andy, your last one here. Patriots +1 at the Raiders.
Raiders love to just blow leads and lose by 2 or 3 points. So
that is true.
I think the Patriots are not a bad team. It's Bill Belichick. You can't bet against them. I don't think hardly ever when it comes to it. But it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout one side or the other. But I mean, how many games if you look at the Raiders, they've lost like 5 or 6 games by like 3 or 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they love to have a first half lead and then get their butts kicked in the second half and just blow it.
What I like about this pick is that it's Belichick versus McDaniel. And who's going to win? Who wins that chess match? Belichick all day long.
Well, I think McDaniels might maybe try to retire or not take the coaching job before the game because he is afraid of Belichick.
It could be. They won't fire him, though, because they're broke and they have to pay him, is what I read. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But all right. That was Andy's last pick, so we have those all through. I got to do my last one, and then we'll get to Sketty's. Cards at Broncos -3. It's going to be a battle of the backup quarterbacks, so I'm just taking the home team here. I don't think Russ is playing, but I don't know that. Maybe he is, actually. Without looking, I still took the Broncos. Colt McCoy, yikes. Playing at Mile High, yikes. There's just a lot to like about the Broncos in this game. Cardinals are having like their GM or somebody just stepped down. Coaches are getting fired. There's just a lot of weird shit happening in Arizona, whether it be because of Hard Knocks, midseason Hard Knocks. Is that like stirring up some drama there? I don't know. It's just a thought to throw out there. It's not something that I'm like fully believing or anything, but they had another coach step down or get fired, and then they had their GM. I think it came out today that he is stepping down from his position to deal with like personal matters or something. I don't know. It's very odd. Just a lot of weird shit going on in that organization. I think Cliff Kingsbury's on his way out the door. Give me the Broncos -3.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, I think the Broncos played fairly well last week versus the Chiefs, right?
If
I mean,
Russell Wilson doesn't get hurt, man, I don't know that the Chiefs win that game.
Yeah,
he actually looked like Russell Wilson last week.
I only know that because I played against Jerry Jeudy in a must-win fantasy game and got freaking just annihilated. I'm like, this dude hasn't done anything.
had a game for sure. All right, let's get to Sketty's picks. He's riding the Bengals because he's well, actually, I think this is more. I don't know if this is more riding the Bengals or just going against the Bucks because they're so fucking bad. But I'm gonna say a little bit of both. But I'm gonna lean it's because the Bucks are playing so shitty. Bengals are playing well, however, so I could see where he went with this pick. However, I would love to see the Bucks win this game because give the Bengals another loss, cool them off a little bit. So, any thoughts on Sketty's pick here?
No, I can understand it. Bengals are hot. Bucks suck. But it's Brady. Never count them out.
So he's going head to head with you in this one. He likes the Texans +14 hosting the Chiefs. I don't have any explanation for him here. Chiefs don't cover spreads a lot though. So, I mean, there's that. They aren't great at covering spreads.
Does he think the Texans are some decent team because they almost beat the Cowboys? I mean, it's the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to. I'll ask him next week when we review the picks what his thought process was on that one. Of course, if they win, he'll just be like, "What do you mean?" Or not win, but if they cover 14, he'll be like, yeah, "Great pick." I don't know why you would even question it. Oh, that's mine. Okay, Sketty's last one, Dolphins +7 at the Bills on Saturday. I don't know if he does these just to try and get me riled up. I don't think he does because the Bills haven't been covering. Well, they didn't cover last week. They covered the week before that. They didn't cover against the Lions. They didn't cover. I don't know if they covered against the Browns or not. I can't remember. But so I don't know. I don't know if he does this just to get a rise out of me, or if he just thinks that the Bills don't cover spreads, or he thinks the Dolphins will keep it close. It's a divisional game. It's two good teams. Any of those would be acceptable answers, I guess.
Yeah, I looked at this game before I texted you. I mean, this was one of the ones I was kind of back and forth on too, and I think this comes down to the weather. I don't think there's any other way around it. If it really is going to snow as much as they are claiming it's going to, who's going to win the ground game? And I guess, I guess I said it earlier in the show, the Bills don't run the ball, but they got Josh Allen can run the ball. Like,
yeah,
and I think he's got the arm to still be able to throw it in this crappy weather where Tua doesn't. So, divisional game, like you said, it's going to stay close. Like, this is, I don't know.
I hope it doesn't. I hope they blow the doors right off of the Dolphins and just put them in playoff purgatory potentially. 3 straight losses. That's going to be tough this time of year, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it's prime time. Buffalo's going to be nuts. I know that. That place is going to be insane. A Saturday night home game.
Oh God, yes.
I don't want to be anywhere near that place.
They better get all the Buffalo police officers and
they
everything they can
it's gonna be
ready to go, because this
all
place is
hands
going to be
on deck
rocking
for sure. All right, Sketty's last. Sketty's Bang Bang Niner Gang lock of the week. He likes the Seahawks plus 3.5. Sometimes I think that he does these ones because, well, the Seahawks always play the 49ers tough, which he complains about on a regular basis. But I don't think this is the case this week. I think the 49ers cover 3.5. I think they beat the shit out of the Seahawks.
Yeah, I could see it. I think it's going to depend for the Seahawks if Walker plays. If Walker doesn't play, Kenneth Walker III, which I think he's trending to play, then I think the Niners just destroy them. I mean, Travis Homer's not the answer back there. If Walker plays, I don't know, maybe. And Purdy's banged up too. I mean, they say he's going to play, but is he going to be 100%? He's got
I did see that. He's got a rib injury or something.
I mean, no Debo to turn around and give it to. So, you're going to rely on CMC. And I don't know. This may not be a bad pick. You're in Seattle, tough place to play.
Now you're talking me out of what I thought. Maybe it isn't a bad pick. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Who? I'd have to look it up. I mean, who's the next quarterback in line for San Fran if Purdy goes down?
Oh God, I don't know.
No Trey Lance, no Jimmy G. I'm sure they signed somebody.
Yeah,
they would have had to.
Oh, they did. The journeyman. What the hell is his name? I'll look. Hold on. Johnson. Is it Josh Johnson? Is that who it is? Yes, Josh Johnson. The guy who's been on like almost every NFL team. I think he's missing about. He's past Fitzpatrick for most teams played on.
I was say, is Fitzy going to come out of retirement just to join the Niners real quick?
Oh, Ben Roethlisberger has been tossing around the idea apparently for the Niners. Came out and said that. So that'd be. I'd love to hear what Sketty has to say about that. So we'll have to bring that up next week. All right, you have anything you want to add before we sign off here?
No, I know I'm an Erie, but I guess no one is going to listen. But local shout out to my high school alma mater, who was the first football team in our school's history to make it to the state championship. They unfortunately lost, but
what high school is that?
It's called General Brown High School. It's up in New York. They made it to the Class C state championship.
That's awesome. That's the first time they've ever made it.
First time our school's ever made it to the state champ. We've been in the States a few times, but first time they ever made a championship game. Played a tough game, but
that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of real small town, so like Warren and all them.
Yeah,
football's a big deal up there. So
did you stream it or anything? Were you able to watch it?
No, they had a streaming thing, but like everything else, it had to have passwords, and they had it locked down to only so many people per password. And I had people there. They play the state championships at it's not the Carrier Dome anymore in Syracuse, the JMS Wireless or something.
It's the Carrier Dome.
It's the Carrier Dome is where everything was. So
that's where they played.
Yes, you played.
That's badass.
I played there in high school when we won our sectional title, as they call it in New York State. Yeah, you play in the Carrier Dome.
That's badass. Also, sucks to whoever was streaming it and only allowed so many on. What happened to some good old fashioned piracy?
I know. I was getting updates with all the people I knew there, but
that's cool. All right, well, Andy, thanks for filling in. We always appreciate you being able to do that so the show can continue and we don't get too far behind on stuff. We owe you.
Yeah. No, appreciate the invite.
When we make it big, we'll bring you with us.
Yeah. No, appreciate the invite. Give me enough heads up. I can usually make it work, but
yeah, no, that's cool. All right. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, everybody who got in the comments. We appreciate all of you, everybody who smashed the like, love button and the angry face if you think Sketty's ugly. We love all of you also. Want to thank the sponsors, Swing Juice, Bush Light, Napoli's, Your Daily Local, JP Photography, Means Sales and Service, Jones Pest Control, Me, Myself, and Ride Podcast, Blue Line Auto, and Complete Roofing Systems. Thank you all. Until next week, which we may have next week could get good. I mean, don't forget to watch out on the Facebook page for the 5 Days of Christmas on Saturday. The instructions will be on the post, what you need to do to qualify for the gifts. And the thing is, you could win multiple times. If you are in it, you're in it for all 5 days. So see how many people get in on it. But just keep an eye out for it. Till next week, take care. Be safe.